All right, cool, man.
All right.
All right, so we're unmuted, so we're good to go.
All right, welcome everyone. Kings Media Relations media availability for Friday, July 10th. I'll ask you to talk, to unmute. Once you do that, please ask your question. And we'll get started with James Ham.
Hey, Luke, how are you?
Good, James. How you doing?
Good. Hey, first and foremost, I think most of us are wondering, number one, did you travel with all 17 players? And do you have any updates on Buddy, Alex, Jabari, and where they are in the process?
Yeah, we're still in the protocol. We from the travel party, and I'm not going to get into the names. I don't just, I'll make that a personal decision. But from the travel party, we left out of the 35, we left 4 people back. And from those 4, nobody has passed NBA protocol yet to rejoin us. But we are hopeful that, some of them are getting close.
How is your team sort of look? What's the vibe now that you guys have had a day or two to settle in there?
It's good. The energy was great. I think guys really showed in tonight's practice. We're excited to play the game we love again, and it's been a tough few months for everybody all over the world, and just to have this opportunity, I think it's important that as a team we understand, what this opportunity is, not only for ourselves and our mental health and well-being, but for the world and basketball fans everywhere. And I think our guys in practice number 1 did a great job today playing with that type of energy. And they've been really good with being responsible and respectful as far as following the rules of wearing a mask, social distancing, washing hands, all those type of things that we're asking our players to do. They've been great with.
Okay, Sean Cunningham.
Thanks, Rasan. Luke, good to see you. Thanks for doing this. Now that you guys are out there and you've entered Orlando, has it exceeded the preconceived notions or expectations you may have had before stepping foot in Orlando?
Yeah, I think the NBA's done an unbelievable job. From getting this many people from all over the country situated and having a well-oiled machine, from what I can tell in the few days we've been here. The court we just had practice on is in a convention center that they put wood floors down. There's a weight room with squat. I mean, it's everything you could ask for. And what I've seen so far has been very impressive from the NBA.
And just a quick follow-up there, knowing that you guys had to enter a brief quarantine of a couple of days, I imagine there was probably a good amount of life at the practice today. The energy was probably pretty good based off of, guys probably looking forward to this and obviously not doing much the past 2 days. And I imagine it's also the first time you guys have really had a full court group session, even though with those players that have been left behind, that you guys were all able to kind of get together, right?
Yeah, it was great. It was, and it was practice was full of energy. The theme behind practice today was pretty much we shut the facility down last weekend. So we've been traveling, quarantining. So today's practice was let's get in, let's have fun, let's get up and down, let's run, let's get a ton of shots, get familiar with a lot of the 5-on-0 stuff that we like to run with no contact, make sure we stay healthy, and mission accomplished with that. And the guys, like I said, they were big time with their effort and energy today in the first practice. Really set a good tone.
Okay, Jason Anderson.
Hello, Jason.
You do it? I'm hitting it. Jason, can you hear me? All right, I got to go to Jason Jones for a second. Jason?
Hey, yeah. Hey, Luke, how you doing?
Good, Jason. You?
Doing all right. I know when we spoke in April, you mentioned that if there was no chance to play again, you would feel good about what you had accomplished over the course of the year and the way you finished things up in March. Do you think that the fact that the guys have made it to this point where they're still playing, they're in the bubble, can in some ways maybe validate or gives them a sense of encouragement for what you built? Because if they had went, say, 10-10, 8-12 over the last 20, they probably wouldn't be there right now. So do you think through all of this, it's kind of built up some faith in what you guys were trying to do?
Well, I think that being out here is a great opportunity for us. I think that we're going to grow a lot from this, win or lose. We're going to become a stronger, better team because of it. I think the main thing, which we've been preaching all season, we had a lot of ups and downs this year. You know that every team's going to, but you don't want them as high and as low as kind of we had. You want to be more in the middle, which is something that we're aware of. But the messaging from day one is always the same. Like, look, we're on this journey together, and we got to, we keep trusting each other. We keep working hard, and good things will work out. And I think that, being here and being in this playoff race is proof of that. But I don't think within the group, at least, it needed to happen for the trust to continue. We've been a pretty close group most of the year, and guys realize that it's it takes time and we've got to be patient. But we're thrilled to be here, and we're thrilled to have this opportunity.
And what can some of those young guys learn? I mean, some of your key guys, Buddy, De'Aaron, Marvin, they've never been in a situation where there's this few number of games and so much on the line. Just what can they just take from that experience by itself?
Well, that's part of the growing process that most teams have to go through, is to be in this type of situation. Now, where we're at is completely different than anything anyone's ever been through. So, when I talk about the opportunity of being here and what I believe will make our group stronger moving forward into next season and beyond, part of that has to do with what you're talking about, Jason, these close games that you have to play well to get in. But part of it is just going through the unknown together. And we're going to be playing with no fans in the arena against the top teams every night. Where right now we have people that aren't with the team that are going to be joining the team. There's just so much that's going to go on here in the next few months that it's something that ultimately is going to be, we're going to look back and be very proud of this being part of this thing, this opportunity that the NBA has put together.
We're going to try Jason Anderson again. Jason?
Yep. Hey, Luke.
There you go.
Are you able to hear me now, Luke?
Yeah, I got you now. I didn't hear you last time.
Okay. First of all, on the injury front, I know that's a concern around the league. Just how do you ramp these guys up to where they're ready to go full steam? What are you doing, if anything, right now to kind of mitigate those risks?
Yeah, we're working with our sports science team, medical staff very closely. We spent a lot of our time before getting here kind of preparing out what ideally it looks like for us to get to where we can play games with minimal risk of being hurt. Now, there's always the chance that happens, but as far as intensity and how much load we're putting on, when we're going to go full contact, are kind of the factors that are playing into this, and kind of where we came back. And we've been watching other sports leagues, and we're aware of that injuries are up as leagues are getting back into it. But where we left off is today was absolutely zero contact. Tomorrow will be very limited contact, again focused on getting up and down, getting our legs under us, just getting more familiar with what we're doing again. And then if those 2 days look good, today looked great. If tomorrow looks as good, then day 3 we'll let the guys kind of get after it a little bit, scrimmage, compete, and then we'll go from there.
Can I also ask you, not having some of the players in the gym right now, how much of a hindrance is that And how long might it be before you're able to get those guys in there with you?
Yeah, that's part of the things that all the teams are going through right now, because with this is so much unknown that there could be a week, there could be, hey, someone doesn't come at all. That's just the reality of what it is. So I'm very open to our team about that, and we're trying to create the mindset that we're going to embrace all of it. We know that it's going to be crazy. People are going to join us. Maybe they won't. Maybe people that are here test positive at some point. And every team has to go through this. So we got to be ready to accept what our roles are. Our roles are going to change as this thing goes. And the teams that can do that most efficiently, I think, are going to give themselves a big advantage.
Okay, we're going to go to Dave McMiniman.
Hey, Luke. Kind of traditionally in the NBA, young players are thought of as being better at home than on the road, but a lot of that has to do with the idea that there's a tough road environment with fans and everything like that. Do you think that there's anything to the idea that this bubble location will kind of level the playing field on some things that we're accustomed to seeing from teams traditionally over the years?
Yeah, I think to that point, Dave, I think it'll probably be a little more even. Veterans are definitely more experienced and more suited to handle those wild playoff-like atmospheres of road games. But again, so much of this is that we just won't know, and we don't. Will teams that execute have a better advantage, or teams that get out and run fast and play that style? We're going to have to go through this and figure it all out together. But yeah, it'll be every little detail of the game is going to be different than what we're used to. Some shooters shoot better in small gyms, some shooters shoot better in big gyms, and there's a lot that we're going to find out.
A quick follow-up, unrelated. When you were packing for an indefinite amount of time, is there anything strange you threw into the bag, something unusual that you brought for this trip for you personally?
The strangest thing I brought that I'm very happy I brought now is I dedicated a whole carry-on bag to my coffee, which is like 7 pounds of coffee beans, my coffee grinder. I got a French press in my room because I knew we were going to be quarantined, so I couldn't trust whatever was going to be in my room. But besides that, it was NBA gears, my polos. Besides not packing suits, everything else remained pretty much the same.
All right, good deal.
We got Jeff, last one, Jeff Garcia. He's from San Antonio. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right, you got me?
Yes.
All right, there you go. Thank you about that. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good.
You mentioned about the playoff chase out in Orlando. You got a tough out that first game when the ball goes up in the air against San Antonio. Talk to me about preparing for a team that seemingly year after year is always in the mix of it, and you got those guys first up.
We have. I'm sorry.
You have the Spurs first up coming up in your schedule.
Oh, first game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we're telling our guys is it's different for the teams that are out here. So we have the Spurs first night out, but the teams that are in our race, the Spurs, the Pelicans, right. Portland, like we have to all get to the starting line, July 30th, ready to be at our top level that we can possibly be at, because we got 8 games to make it. I think you'll see from some of the other teams that are in the playoffs. Even though they'll be fighting for positioning, their mindset's going to be much more based upon getting ready for whenever these 8 games are done, being at their highest level. And, that said, when you see us prepping for San Antonio and San Antonio prepping for us, I think you're going to see a very intense, important game being played.
And just a very quick follow-up, and you could talk about San Antonio being without LaMarcus Aldridge for these next 8 games.
Maybe it called me. All I heard was Marcus Aldridge out. I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, just planning for a team without LaMarcus Aldridge. And how does that impact your scouting as well as facing San Antonio. Yeah.
That goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Every team, and I know some players are more important as far as winning than others. And Aldridge is, an all-star, a multiple-time all-star. But every team is going to be without players, and those players are going to be coming and going. And it's what team can step up and really pick up the slack and embrace that. And so preparing for them without Aldridge will be different. The scout will be different. But there's going to be a lot, I think, that changes from now until then anyway. So we just got to be ready to think on our feet and be ready to move and make adjustments.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.